Hello, I'm Bood and welcome to episode 11, season 11 of Rebuilding Coventry City. As always, thanks for joining me, I really do appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button. It's 5 AM here at Bood Towers and I'm shattered. So go on, hit that like button for me, really do appreciate it. If you're brand new, I don't know why you'd be here at episode 11, but thank you very much. Make sure you catch up on the whole series, make sure you catch up on all my other videos, and I hope you're all happy and I hope you're all well. And I hope you and your family are safe. Worrying times, so yeah, we're in it together. And we're in this together. Now, season 10, I nearly finished it. Episode 10, it sounded quite good. And we were double winners, weren't we, last year? Now, should I have finished it on that high? Or have I ruined my legacy? Well, that's going to be for you to decide. So let's find out what happened in season 11. Now, we're going to start the episode here on my main page, just so I can talk about a few things. And maybe the reason why I wanted to definitely do this season 11. And it was because we were in the FIFA Club World Championships, which is way better now. It used to be every year, if you won the Champions League, you go into it, you go into like the semi-final against a crap team, then you'd play in the final, and you'd usually win it. Well, now it's every 4 years, like a World Cup, and it's more of a tournament, and it's in the summer. So it just happened to land this summer as soon as we won the Champions League. So we were straight in it. So I wanted to try and become world champions. But wow, does it feel early today. I mean, I get up at 5 for work, when I work. Obviously I'm in isolation. But my little boy's like run out, he's 3. He's run out of his room last night. Come into ours, woke us up. Then about an hour later, woke up having a nightmare. But you know what, I'm a trooper. I've got a 10 ton of coffee. And we're going to get through this, and we're going to start, I can't believe we're doing this, with Coventry City in the World Club Championships. So we're in Group A, and I love this. I think this format is way better, makes it more special being every 4 years, makes it more fun to be in as well than just 2 games that just get on your nerves halfway through your season. So yeah, we're in Group A, and we played Tigres. I should know how to say them, shouldn't I? We played them, beat them 2-1. Obviously your team isn't fit though. It's a summer. Not had any. They've had time off. Not played any pre-season games. Next up was Boca. Great club, great stadium. But obviously we're playing this in Russia, by the way. I forgot to mention that the whole tournament this time was in Russia. So yeah, we're in Moscow, and we won 2-1. On to the quarter-finals. Honestly, it is fun. I think this is the first time I've done it in this format. I think. Have I done it in this format before? I don't think I have. Maybe I have. But this felt really good. Maybe because it was who I was with. I'm Coventry, for God's sake. Anyway, River, Boca's rival, in the quarters. Beat them just. Got to the semi-finals and it starts to get a bit more real, doesn't it? And real, it was. Real Madrid. Beat them 3-1. Terry Cox, legend. Got a couple of injuries though, which isn't great. And then it was a repeat of the Champions League final, up against Klopp again, and he's got a good team here. They have a good team, and it wasn't easy. We managed to do it 1-0 with a goal from Peter Heyer, who also got man of the match. So yeah, Champions League finalists met up in the World Club final, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, that's amazing for us as a club. We are world champions, and I used to win this and always say, a world champs, but you don't feel like a world champion. Not really. With the old format, this format makes you feel like you've really won something. Now you can see that here on the years. So I'm assuming this is something that's happening in a couple of years' time, because you've got Liverpool winning in 2019, River 2020, City in 21, and then there's a 4-year gap then. The new format must kick in. And then another 4-year gap, and we've played, so absolutely brilliant. I'm really happy with this trophy cabinet. I mean, a Champions League trophy, Premier League trophy, World Club. I've stuck an FA Cup in there. You know, I want to keep on winning and I want to keep on playing hard. So we've accumulated some cash. I was going to spend it. Big players were going to leave. Big players were going to come in. The one big sale was George Armstrong. He didn't play as much as he wanted last year and he was moaning. And now Manchester United came in with a £45 million bid. And Everton. I said no to United and said yes to Everton. He got angry with me for saying no to United. Refused Everton, and then United came back in with 45 million again. So I sold him. I mean, he was a great player. I loved him, didn't I? He was a top player. But he's just not the best one defender I've got anymore. and I found a good one. From Manchester United's rivals, Manchester City, Steven Pineda is an American. He's 26 years old. He's been on my radar for ages. Whenever I look for a good player, he pops up. And he was up for sale. Now, he's cost me... It could potentially cost me 90 million, but he's elite, he's top quality, he's better than George Armstrong. And I needed a good replacement, and I think we've got a very good one. Now, Yusuf Antwi has been my third choice striker for years. He's just floated around that first team for years. Young English lad that we brought in from Watford for not a lot. Now I sold him for a few million, which is fair enough. He just wasn't quality. And if I lose a striker to injury, I want a striker on the bench. So I always want to have two strikers available to me, because I only play with one up top. So I needed a third choice striker, so I looked for young players who were for sale, and there's one at Manchester United. Now Lawrence Potts is a wonder kid, and he only cost me 9 million. Now his contract was coming up, and he didn't want to sell it because he wanted to play football. Will he play football for us? I don't know. I mean, wonder kid? Is he? Off the ball's good, but for a striker, I think his composure is shit. His finishing is, and he can dribble, decent technique. So he is, and his potential ability ain't amazing either. So wonder kid. This is my complaint with wonder kids in the modern Football Manager game. They've watered it down. This is not, to me, a wonder kid, but he's a good player. He's better than Antwi. He's my new third choice striker. So that's it. I've spent a lot and I've recouped a lot, because these players here who have gone, I mean, Dramana Depot, or whatever his name is, let's just check him out. I got him in for next to now a couple of years ago. He's been out on loan a few times. I've made 12 million back. This is what you mean. Do you know what I mean? Josh Diamond used to be my backup goalkeeper here for a couple of years. Made some money off him. Antwi, Declan Bean, Duncan, so good, named him twice, has gone. Obviously not for big fees. Loaned a couple of guys out. So, you know, from what we've got back to what we spent, ain't too bad really. I've also signed a new deal, which is fantastic. I don't know how long I'm going to carry on playing this. I don't know. This might be it. But it's nice to know that my future's sorted. Now these are the expectations, and of course, look at that. There's loads of stuff going on, and that's not even got the World Club Championships in it. That disappeared once I won it. But they want me to win the Premier League. I've won a friendly cup, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Pre-season. Carabao Cup, forget that. Community Shield, got to play Arsenal in that, our rival. In the Champions League, we'll get to semi-final. We're in the Super Cup against Juventus. Obviously in the FA Cup, they want us to get to the final of that. I mean, there is tons going on this year. We have some pressure on us, because even the bookies think we've got the best team. I mean, look who the dream team central midfield is. Miller, and obviously Holcroft, who City took off me for 90 million. Imagine we still had him. Holcroft and Miller in the middle. Wow. So this is my team. Let's look at it briefly, as quick as we can. Terry Cox, still a good player, man. I think he's a great striker. But I do want to start playing this kid. I know he's down there, but he's got bags of potential. He is the future of Coventry. Obviously, we've got Sommer, who is outstanding. Absolutely amazing. Peter Heyer, again, starting to get much better. Mr. Miller in the middle. Rousset is a definite player. I need to play more this year because I think he's fantastic. Alan Wright is a defensive midfielder. I would like more strength at defensive midfield. And that might happen. Wink. Go back. Pinada, or whatever his name is. That's one of the things we stick something on the donkey at a party. You smash it in for sweets, I think. There you go. And then obviously Bythwaite, Sarkania, and Goy from last year, who's quality. Mac, who's from our own academy, top player. Still got two great fullbacks in Delaney and of course Shelby. And then we've got Alisson, don't forget, who was fantastic for me last year. He was a game changer, but he's getting older, isn't he? And we've got the young wonder kid who needs to play a bit more, start to develop. So yeah, looking good. Now the FIFA World Club Championships is quite early, so we had space to fill. So we went on a 3-game tour of America. We went over to the West Coast this year for a couple of games, but also down to Texas for one. And then we came back and it took part in a friendly cup. I think I might click yes on that without really looking at it. And then we played Cannes again in another testimonial for one of their players. Fantastic little stadium, great place to go. So it was brilliant, perfect pre-season, all greens, if you know what I mean. Of course, we're in the Community Shield against the FA Cup winners. Arsenal, one of our rivals, they beat us quite a lot over the years. So it's good to beat them, even if it was on penalties. Now obviously our pre-season wasn't complete until we played the Super Cup against the Europa League winners Juventus. You knew who they were because I showed you that, I think, at the end of the last episode. Obviously a great team, best team in Italy, and we beat them. Terry Cox and Pete getting us the goals, but we were fantastic, so another trophy for us. Now it's the 4th of September and we're here for a reason. Now I mentioned my defensive midfield position. Now I like Alan Wright. He's 24, he's English, he's my best one. He's a good player, right? But he's nothing out of this world crazy amazing. He hasn't even got a cap for England. Now, I'm not knocking the guy, but he's decent. But if he's out, this is the backup. Now Lee Bythway was originally a centre half. He still is a centre half, but he does play there quite a bit and he does a decent job, right? But I'd say they're both decent, right? So in a way, I've technically got 5 centre backs. I felt like I wanted someone in that hole. I wanted to keep plugging these gaps with Galacticos, you know what I mean? And really make this team stronger, or try to anyway. And I found a player and I thought he was amazing. I just didn't have the money available, but we had the money in the bank. So I used a feature I've never used before, never used it, which is the interact with the board. I think I might have used it once and they said no. So I never touched it for ages. So I tried it, just why not? And the board said, we agree with you, we want this player too. And this is that player. It's cost me 51 million. And I couldn't say no. He's elite. He's an elite defensive midfielder. 21 years old. We've got him from Porto. I think he's brilliant. I just think he's better and he's got the potential to be better. I've just took a risk financially, really. I mean, we're not in a bad place. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like I'm spending lots and lots of money now trying to stay up here with the big boys, but this team of mine's young, innit? And it's starting to look really healthy. Let's just show you a few things, and one of them is the commercial income, and this is what I mean. Look what we're competing with. Arsenal have got the biggest now, somehow, so that does fluctuate then, doesn't it? United's 189, City next, Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs, and then it's us. We've only got 67 million. So, you know, we are some way off the big boys. And even wages, I mean, I remember when we first come up, I think we spent $500,000 a week, and we managed to stay in the Prem. Now we spend 3.2, but that's fair enough. But it's nowhere near like the big boys, is it? Like the really big clubs. They're nearly like double what we spend on wages. That'd cripple us. Now welcome to the 1st of January, and we're going to start here with my goalkeeper, Alisson, who was amazing. We signed him at 35, he turned 36, had a great season. We were fantastic last year. And at the end of this year, his contract's going to run out. So I panicked because he was so good. I gave him a new deal, he got injured. And he hasn't played as much this year through injuries. And then coming back in, I've been playing the Wonder Kid. He's been doing pretty well in certain games. So I'm giving that kid a chance because he's the future of Coventry. So then Alisson gets upset. So now he's pissed off because he's not playing as much. And he's not played as much, and I've given him a mega deal, 220 grand a week, stuck an extra year on his contract. Schoolboy. Yeah, out straight away. And I don't do this on purpose. I have had some bad luck with the Carabao Cup. I mean, I sort of B-teamed it, ish. Kind of went for it in a way, and we got beat on penalties. I'm quite lucky with penalties out sometimes. Not today. It's been something like 3 or 4 years since I've actually got past the 3rd round. Look at that. If we click on, look, we've been knocked out by United, knocked out by City, and now knocked out by Watford, all in the 3rd round. But you know what? It frees us up, doesn't it, for the more important competitions. But you may have noticed they were only 4th in the Premier League, and we're some way off the top. Yeah. I mean, we've lost 5, drawn 3. We're 8 points away from Chelsea. It's been disappointing, I can't lie. Obviously bringing a new centre-half, new defensive midfielder, I thought I was putting in them final pieces to just be unstoppable, but I don't know if it's a goalkeeper situation. There's been a similar fight up top with Terry Cox and the young Wonder Kid striker. So there's a bit of imbalance, maybe a bit of upset this year compared to last year. Plus the hunger. Last year we were hungry, I felt like we were dying to win some major trophies. I don't know if some people just switched off this year. Defensively we're poorer. Maybe it is because I've had a child in net for games that I wouldn't have. I mean, if Alisson had stayed fit, been great, but he's not the keeper he was the year before. He's not as consistent. He's not here for me every game. Goals as well we're lacking. So yeah, we're not looking like a team that's going to retain our title. It's hard to retain your title, but it's just one of them. We've been very sketchy, and my results look like a rainbow, and I hate it when they look like a rainbow because it means you're not very good. We've lost some games that are disappointing. Newcastle beat us. We drew with Liverpool, which wasn't bad. Fantastic result against Villa. We beat teams like Chelsea. Then we got battered off United at Old Trafford. Battered off City at the Etihad. Beaten off Leicester. I mean, we've just beat United, to be fair, at our place. But, yeah, I've got a very good side here. And I just feel like they're lacking a bit of hunger. This is a squad arranged by average rating. And Peter Hay is my best player. So, you know, he came in. I kind of had doubts about him. He's shown moments of brilliance. And now he's my best player. So, fair play to him. Stephen, the new centre-half. Very good player. So, he's definitely worth all of it. Tito, very good player. He's my third best player. So, it's not the new boys. They've come in and been fantastic. It's some of the older players, to be fair. I've got a lot of unhappy lads at the minute because these guys want to play, and that's what I mean. It's like a transition bit now. I've hit that peak, and I've gone to the point where now players have gone, yeah, I want to leave because I want to play first team football now. I can't be here anymore. Why are you not playing me enough? Moan, 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 moan. So it's just, yeah, look at the morale. Morale is massive on this game. It can get you through a lot. And we haven't got any. Now, we're not just trying to retain our Premier League title. We're trying to retain the European Cup. Why not? And we finished second in our group. Group B with Inter, Zenit and Anderlecht. I would have liked to have won this, but Inter were pretty good, to be fair. Like, really good. So, fair play to Inter. If you want to know what the results were, if you want to see them all, we only lost one game. That was 2 Inter at home. We drew the other 2 and we won 3 there, both against Anderlecht. One against Zenit. So, you know, we're still alright. We're still in it to win it. And we've drawn the best team in Germany in the next one. Awesome. Now, we are the best team, technically, in England because we're the champs. But, like I said, I don't feel bad about my team. I just feel like we're in that transition already. I've got a goalkeeper issue, I've got a striker issue. Even though Isaac stepped up the kid and he's scoring goals, got Terry Cox is unhappy. So, people are unhappy. So, even at the end of this year, I'd have to do a big rebuild. Like, get rid of a lot of dead wood. And try and bring in some good players. But then, if you go down that youth... It's hard, isn't it? But it's fun. It's what this game's all about. I don't know why I felt like this young team might get to the top and we could have 3 years where I just made an addition or 2 and we just kept winning titles, but we have been disappointing, really. Season 8 over and we're world champions at least. We've started the season as world champs. Can't take that away from us. We're going to be the world champions as well for the next 4 years. I'm going to live off that for 4 years. Anyway, let's start here. It's April the 1st and we're in the FA Cup and we were playing Crewe. And as you can see, I pretty much sort of B-teamed it. But then beat Blackburn away. Good result for us. Terry Cox goal. Dominated. Then on to Newcastle, a team that can beat us quite easily in the league. And have done on many occasions. We came up together and we've stayed up together. But we battered them 3-0. And then we beat another team that's beat us in the league this year. But you know what? We've done a good job against them. It's fantastic. We're into the semi-final of the FA Cup. And once I get to a semi-final, you've got to take it serious. You've got to try and win it. I don't know if you noticed, but my superstar defensive midfielder had to play it right back in that game and was outstanding. What a player. And what a semi-final. We've drawn Charlton from Championship. You got West Brom from the Championship as well against Liverpool. So you can probably say it's going to be us. Well, it should be us versus Liverpool. We're now third. And it's, you know, we've definitely upped our game. Only lost 1 game since January, which is fantastic. And we find ourselves in third. So we're only 3 points off the title here. So it kind of, you know, we don't do bad here. It starts to become competitive. United only point behind us. Liverpool, to be fair, aren't far behind us. So, you know, exciting. So the last game you knew about was our 2-1 victory over United in the league. And then we went on a fantastic run here. It was like outstanding. We didn't play the biggest teams in the world, so maybe Tottenham. And then we got beat off Arsenal, which annoyed me. But then we battered Leicester, beat West Ham, drew with City. And we've got a decent run in. Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle last 3 games. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a to-the-wire kind of title race. But we're still in it. 3 points is not a lot. And this is a squad, again, arranged by average rating. You can see form's up, morale's up, overall average rating's up. Dino at the top. I nearly sold him this summer. I kept him. What an idiot I am. But Pete, Steve, Roberto, top players. Marcus Miller, all good players. Very happy with that. If you check out the goals, that's where we like. I need like a 30 goals a year guy, and I think Isaac could become that. I mean, he is pretty sweet. If we go on him now, he's not a wonder kid anymore. He started the year as a wonder kid, but he's becoming a clinical striker, and his finishing has gone up to 19. He's one for the future, I think. Playing. Sorry, Terry Cox, you might have to leave. I mean, if you look at his history, obviously he's not played as much this year. Last year, 15 goals. Year before, 23. Year before that, 9. Year before that, 25. So, I mean, he's hot and cold, playing in the same system, same tactic. with good players. Over to assists though, and Sommer and Heyer, brilliant. Finally got me 2 wingers. I'm happy with that. I think next year, if Isaac can take that next level up, you know, and my young goalkeeper can step up as well, I think we'll be good to go for another title. Over to Champions League, and of course we had a tough opponent in Bayern Munich, and it was 2-2 at home in the first leg. They've got some geezer called Longo, who's pretty good, but we were way better. But we did enough beating them 2-1 at the Allianz Arena. Shelby and Marcus Miller getting me the goals, pretty even game. We've not got Barcelona, but we can do these. We can beat Barca. Ronald Koeman and his fancy, smancy Barcelona team. I've not seen the finances like that in a long time. We need some prize money. Well, here we are. It's the end of the season. It's the 1st of June. And disappointingly, we could not retain our title. And even worse, Man City won it by 2 points. We ended up 7 points off it. Lost a couple of games. Them and United were very good. And they were just a little bit better than Manchester United. I think a draw difference. So it's, you know, I was gutted. I always put up a better fight than that. But the club's in the Champions League again, which is the most important thing in a way for finances and for the club's status. Just, yeah, I would have liked back-to-back. That'd been amazing. So hopefully it gives us a drive next year to go on and win it. I mean, the run-in was a bit annoying. Losing to Chelsea, annoying. Losing to Watford on TV. I mean, beating Liverpool's good. We drew with Newcastle, beat Everton. I mean, there's some decent results. Just not enough, was it? It wasn't perfect enough. We had moments of brilliance, but it is what it is. And Alisson had a decent season, but he's decided he's going to retire anyway. So I don't have to pay him that massive contract extension. He will be gone. So that's 220 grand a week we can keep. And what do I do here now? Do I try and get another old pro in? Or just stick with the kid? Over to the FA Cup, and we of course were playing Charlton. A game we should be winning, and we did win. 3-0. Pete getting us a couple of goals. Marcus getting us another. Dominated really. Should have been more. What did we get in the final? Well, it was Liverpool. A bloody hell, what a game. It was very close. Look how many yellows both sides had. I mean, it's got to be a world record. It's got to be, hasn't it? I mean, Jesus. And again, we were lucky on the penalties. I had a bit of bad luck. I seem to have more luck than not with them. But yeah, wasn't good for me. But picked up my 2nd FA Cup, the club's 3rd, beating a great club like Liverpool. Gave me some silverware. We won a few. We won the World Club Championship, the Community Shield, the European Super Cup, and the FA Cup. What about the Champions League? Could have won a big one. Of course, we had to play Barcelona, massive club, beating them 1-0 at the Camp Nou Camp. Peter Heyer is having the season of his life. So happy I've kept him. And in another really boring game, although it was a bit better statistically than the last one, we won again 1-0. Lawrence Potts, my 3rd choice striker, played on the right wing, got man of the match. Semi-finals, here we go. Where we played Chelsea, beat us a couple of times this year. Nearly won the league this year. Beat us 2-0 at home. But you know what? Easy peasy. Went to their place, won 3-0. Did not expect this. Couldn't believe we actually did it. It was an amazing moment. It's one of the moments you think, do you know what? We are destined here. Destined to get to the final. We've got there. Let's do it. But we're going to come up against a very good team. A team that dominated us in the group stage. But can I win back-to-back Champions League trophies? Let's find out. No, I couldn't. I got beat 2-1 by Inter Milan in the final. So there we have it. Bit disappointed. Should have ended this completely last year as double winners, maybe. But I quite like it. I like the fact we're world champs. We've won an FA Cup, that's very special. We're still a very good team. Although I've got a lot of players here that we need to sort stuff out with. I've got my young goalkeeper now wants a new contract. My old goalkeeper is retiring. I've got some mediocre players who now want to leave because they're not playing. Other players want new contracts. It's going to be a tough summer, really. But what I'm definitely going to play, will I put it on YouTube, season 12? I'm going to wait and see how well this episode does. If it breaks 1,000 views, I might do it. I might share it with you, but we'll have to wait and see. Because look what they're doing. Don't know where we're getting the money from, but they are planning on building a new stadium. I don't know why we bought the Rico. We should have just built a new one anyway, but we've spent money and bought the Rico, and now a couple of years later they decided to sack the Rico off. It's crap. Let's start afresh. Close to 50,000 capacity stadium. Eh? We'll sell the Rico though, I'm guessing. That'll help pay for it, won't it? So there we go. That is the end of episode 11. As always, thanks for taking time out of your busy day to watch it. Really do appreciate it. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. I apologise again if I look quite sleepy in most of my recent episodes, but I have to get up early to do it. It's about 6 AM now. Can't believe it. It's starting to get a bit lighter. The birds are out. It's lovely. It's going to be a shit day though because it's already raining. Happiness, eh? Brilliant. Anyway, I hope you're well. Hope you're safe. So from me and my family to you and your family, take care. I'm Bood. I'll see you next time.